What are some dark secrets in the place you work? Most of the staff is being laid off in 3 months. The company has already started hiring their replacements in India. They'll be told a week before Christmas at the rate management is getting their it together. I wish I didn't know. I hate keeping secrets and I just want to scream abandon ship at them all. The car dealership I worked at had it all. Half the staff was ducking each other. Most of them were married. Blackjack and poker games every hour on the hour in the body shop. The accountant sold pirated DVDs. Pot, sugar, and prescription drugs were available in the detail shop. And most of us salesmen were drunk by noon. I work at Applebee's. The 4 cheese mac and cheese is 1,800 calories. That's dark as it. A place I used to work at some 10 years ago, we went on a company trip to a ski resort. We were all supposed to share rooms. I got paired up with a dude in my team, but I noticed a lot of my older co-workers got co-ed rooms. I asked one of the girls that had helped out to arrange the trip how come some were splitting rooms boy-girl. Turned out a lot of people were lovers and whenever there were company trips they shared rooms and basically spent the whole trip ducking each other. And the company helped them out when arranging the trips, so they got paired up in the same room. When the trip was over they all went back to their husbands and wives. The sign in the front yard is more effective at preventing burglaries than the actual burglar alarm is. The burglar alarm just lets you know when someone decided to ignore the sign. I guess it's not really that dark or a big secret, just something very few people know about. In the 70s and 80s most commercial beekeepers in Canada poisoned all or almost all their hives to death every fall. The hives were then replaced by package bees in spring from the US, used for the summer and then killed again in fall. This was done just because packages from America were cheaper than the medication and labor involved with overwintering your hives. Especially as you can lose anywhere from 5% to 50% of your hives over winter. This doesn't happen anymore as the price of packages now vastly exceed the cost of wintering your hives. Even if it did become economically feasible again, I can't see it happening as the public outcry would likely be huge if people found out this was happening. Like I said, not really a secret. Just something few people remember. I work with people with traumatic brain injuries. The darkest secret is I know some of the people I work with have the person they were before the accident trapped in their mind. The link between thought and action is broken. I know one young guy who wasn't much older than me. He tried to hang himself in prison. He was too young to go to prison for anything like murder. He's just a skinny redneck kid. No one knew what he went to prison for because his sister couldn't be bothered to find out. She let him live in his own it for years until she placed him in our company. He was funny as could be in his lucid moments. He would switch between lucid and emptiness. In his episodes of emptiness he would get a blank stare, not talk, refuse to move, and refuse any kind of human contact. If you pushed and tried to get him to stand up or even move his leg he would scream in fear. In those episodes I know the guy is in there. He's just confused and scared. It's like I can see he's home. He just won't answer the door. I remember reading Dante's Inferno. According to Dante, people who commit suicide are formed into twisted trees and their leaves and branches and ripped apart by harpies. I realized for that guy that hell is his reality, and I'm his harpy. Worked in a small hospital. We had a room titled Utility Closet, which was actually the morgue or body hold. Our ER was significantly far away from that room. So to transport dead bodies, we'd wheeled a gurney down there with piles of laundry covering the body. Yep, that happened. I guess the hospital didn't want to tip people off there was a dead body passing them in the hallway. At least half of the people who handle your food, both in restaurants and retail, and really any other retail, have some sort of cold or flu at the time, and are probably contagious. Very few retail or service industry job pay well enough or have benefits that make it possible to take sick days, and the management will guilt people into working even though they're sick, because the company can't handle being short-staffed. People used to pay the janitor to steal other people's lunches for them. I have sat in the boardroom of a major industrial agency during the planning for a very major project and watched a lot of faces go pale as the budgeting section for expected loss of life came up. In my experience, the CEOs who talk about safety being number one for their company aren't kidding. They're often very much on board. It's getting the rest of the staff to get it through their skulls and follow suit that can be difficult. Anyway, they budgeted for 3 deaths in the course of the project. When asked why 3, they said that statistically, the man has involved said 3 was the conservative estimate, and there was a reserve for up to 6 deaths. Each of those deaths were budgeted to cost the company $1.7 million, factoring in fines, fees, lot of productivity, legal fees, etc. It was a good meeting. It made it very clear to those who value money over human life just how much money a human life costs, and how much worse it can be if there's a major incident. 1 death is bad on the bottom line, but a mass casualty incident, anything more than 3, means a worksite shutdown, which can cost the company easily $20 million or more a day. Believe it or not, the occupational health and safety teeth that the government has is long and sharp. Long and sharp enough to even make massive petroleum companies think very carefully about their priorities. I work in the hazmat industry, mainly spill recovery. Holy it, if you work in industry, you need to look at your company's environmental policies. The company I work for works pretty closely with the EPA and our state environmental management agency, so we do a lot of jobs where other companies screwed up. Lead contamination is stupid high in so many places. I've seen visible mercury literally swept under a rug so that companies don't have to pay for remediation. This will get on you. Track throughout. And it will stay on your clothes or shoes for so long. Acid spills where the company wants to save some money, so they wash it off into public freshwater sewers. TL. Dr. Large companies don't like to spend money on environmental cleanup, so they do a lot of illegal stuff. Not me, but my dental assistant teacher once had to cover for a new dentist. He pulls the wrong tooth on a patient and she told the patient that they missed some decay on the tooth next to it, and since they missed it, it was free. So they pulled 2 teeth and the guy thinks he got a deal. I used to work a small company and the secretary was shared among the owners, salesmen and some of the workers. The worst thing is that she acted all high and mighty like they owned the company, and I guess in a way she did. She got preferential treatment and often the owner would pay her bills if she got behind. And rumor is that the owner paid off her car when she threatened to tell his wife. She was always invited to Las Vegas for trade conferences even though she had nothing to do with the trade besides answering phones and making appointments. We all knew what really happened on those trips. Don't work there now, but a past story. I worked in the mailroom offices services department of a large health insurance company. We handled shipping and receiving and made sure that all departments had all the working supplies they needed. We got a call from our supervisor saying that one department was going to be archiving a lot of old records, so we needed to supply them with a bunch of boxes. We purchased a ton of new banker boxes and emptied out printing paper boxes so they could use those. The next day there was a completely unexpected huge layoff. Myself and the other 2 guys watched from the windows while lines of people marched out with their possessions and the boxes we'd supplied. I'm trying to figure out the dark secret at my work. I know there is a secret because we work in a factory in the US. No experience required. We are paid $5 more than minimum wage. We have full benefits. And we hire everyone from hardcore alcoholics to convicted felons. Something is going on here. It's a fairly open secret. I work in a small plumbing repair store. There were 3 of us there, including the owner. The other employee committed suicide at the store a few months ago. Shot himself in the head while we were open. At my last job, we had like 40 manager types who did absolutely nothing, and it rolled downhill to about 3 guys who did all the ducking work in the whole company. I worked in a store for building supplies and, as many people already suspect, we, the service personnel, truly try to dodge out as many customers as possible. We're basically like store ninjas, running from shelf to shelf and hiding from customers. That is though because we're also the people to refill all the shelves, take care of the gardening section with all the flowers, make sure everything looks properly, and we just won't get finished if we would deal with every question. We all just pretend to work, even our bosses. My manager has had sex with several different people in the freezer of the restaurant where I work. Worked for a place where the IT manager took dozens, maybe hundreds, of computers home for his own personal use and to give to the religious school where his kids attended. His wife worked, and he was a deacon. He also gave computers to the school district superintendent and some of the other execs. He and these same execs hired their relatives to put them on the payroll. The IT manager had his mother placed in one of the schools as an IT tech, though she was completely and utterly incompetent with fixing computers. She was unable to pass the simple test that all the other techs had to pass under risk of termination. One summer he fired our Linux administrator and brought in his 16-year-old sister and cousin, and 2 daughters, both 17-year-old, of the execs to work on the district's payroll. He also hired his brother-in-law, a recently unemployed banker, to be a database administrator. This DBA then went to his Bill's construction site and worked on it all day long. The levels of system nepotism and corruption, or corruption and nepotism, were shocking and intolerable. Your prescriptions are filled by unqualified people who don't always wear gloves or masks. The controlled substance pills are especially dirty. If a pill is dropped, there is a lot of paperwork to fill out that the pharmacists don't feel like doing, so they'll throw it back into your prescription vial and send it off. I work in a distribution pharmacy. I am in charge of hiring escorts for potential clients my boss is trying to land. Our soups come in a bag and we don't make them. Secrets, yes. Duck, not sure. First that comes to mind is the managers found out that one of the employees was homeless and living in the warehouse a week before Christmas. They fired him. This is Illinois, so the last few winters have not been balmy. Another was $500,000 in tools and tool storage was stolen in one night. They never found the merchandise nor the truck. The management based promotions on oral favors. This would happen at another job too. But what was worse at the second job was we sold sporting goods, and they used the stowaway camping cots in the upstairs loft during the overnight shifts for their fun time sessions. All of the employees, including the regular 9-5 office workers, are employed as independent contractors, so the owner can get out of paying taxes, benefits, overtime, and abiding by family and medical leave regulations. There are also a lot of pay irregularities, and sometimes the owner simply refuses to pay for time that was worked. She pays based on the amount of time that she thinks something should take, not the amount of time it actually takes. I'm pretty sure this is all illegal, but I don't know what to do about it. I work for a company that sells auto parts online. We have about 25 different store names, so whichever company you think you're buying from on eBay or Amazon or any number of .coms, there's a very good chance it's actually us. There are any number of products on Amazon where every single seller on the list is us. It's also comical how many times people will say I bought from so and so and it was terrible. So glad I went with you instead. Little do they know they're talking to the same customer. I used to have a co-worker make me give him a handy every day at work. Sure, I was self-employed and worked at home, but it was still hard to look myself in the mirror every day. One of our cooks was quietly let go because it was found out she was having an affair with the boss, who co-owns the restaurant with his wife. The owners are getting a divorce and I think he's still with the ex-cook. I used to work at a weld shop that made a lot of stuff for military contracts. Shortcuts were taken at every opportunity which compromised the product. Welds that were supposed to be checked by a certified weld inspector, CWI, were not. Documents were faked. Lots of things went out that door to our military and other government organizations that should not have. On top of all that, there were little to no safety precautions taken there. The owner himself tried to come out into the shop and tell me to weld on a 16-ton frame while it was suspended in the air by a crane with a 10-ton capacity. He wanted me to stand under it and make the welds on the bottom of it. That's just one of many dangerous situations he tried to put me in. One day he told me to do something, and I didn't know any better. Then, an older welder came by and told me to stop because it could kill me. A few seconds after I walked away, a piece of hydraulic equipment I was working with failed and went flying right past where I was previously sitting. I would have died if that old timer hadn't told me to stop. I used to work in childcare while I was at uni. The majority of kids there were pretty good, but around 1 in every 30 kids were horrible. So there was one in particular who was a little it. Wouldn't pay attention, annoying, and anytime someone even said something to him he'd get physical and act like the victim when the staff confronted him. I honestly couldn't stand him, but after a year of being there I realized he was a troubled kid, so I thought I'd try to be easier on him. I was hard but fair with the kids so they wouldn't mess around with me, but I'd give them more freedom and playing time. I told him to come straight to me if anyone gave him any trouble so I could ensure they were separated and that he wouldn't get into trouble. He was good at first and I started to see a softer side to him, but he eventually just slipped back into his old routine of punching then acting like he did nothing wrong. Turns out a close family member had been molesting him since he was like 4 and he didn't want to identify who it was because he didn't want to get anyone in trouble. We were notified because some family members had to stay away from him, so if they came to pick him up we'd refuse. Parents would constantly complain about him and some even confessed to me how much they hate him and how his mother must be a terrible parent. I just kept my mouth shut about it and tried to change the topic. There's a sweet kid in there somewhere but he just doesn't show it. I often think about what he's doing now. Edit. Formatting.